Savy here. Welcome to the channel where you subscribe to get daily updates on Bitcoin. Is this a reversal or are we just watching a correction? We're going to talk about it. We're going to look at it. We're going to look at some price targets. We're going to start out in the bigger time frames as usual, move down to the lower time frames and take a look at the more immediate price action. Stick around. Don't forget we have a free Discord group in the description below the video. Definitely check it out. It's totally free. It's an awesome community, guys. We do giveaways there once in a while, some Bitcoin giveaways, so definitely check it out if you haven't already, and let's get into it. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice, trading advice, nor is it investment advice. Don't forget, we're doing a Kobo Vault Generation 2 giveaway. It's a hard wallet. Not your keys, not your crypto, guys. Get them off the exchanges. If you don't have one and you don't win, there is links down below to get yourself one. I do suggest if you're not trading on an exchange to not leave your Bitcoin on the exchange. All right, all you got to do to enter to win is make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Tick the notification bell to get you notified when I post videos. Take 1 second out, smash those likes, guys. Hit the thumbs up and leave your comments down below. That helps the YouTube algorithm, helps get this video out there. And if you could, share the video if you belong to any groups or whatever, help get it out there. All right, let's take a look at the news headlines. There's really nothing new from yesterday's video. Bitcoin mining is profitable again. I mean, that's the only new thing from yesterday's video, really. The mounting evidence of a new Bitcoin bull market. Well, that was three days ago when we were extremely bullish. We are having a drop here. Let's take a look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index. It does reset in 5 hours and 10 minutes, but right now we're at 84. We raised 6 points from yesterday. Obviously, people were getting extremely greedy, and the bulls are the whales, sorry, not the bulls, the whales took advantage of that. We've been talking about it. We did close this gap up here. We do have a gap down. We're going to just take a look at the gaps first before getting into it. Then I want to talk about the hype cycles a little. 96.50. And sorry about the late video. As you guys know, I have quit my job and I'm trying to get a lot of stuff situated, so everything will get back into a better routine here as soon as I get everything situated. So just to let you guys know what's going on. 96.70 is the gap down here. I do think there's a good possibility that we fill that. We also have one, if we look in the 8 hour, this one up top shows in the daily, but in the 8 hour, we do have one down here around 7,600. And the one nobody wants to talk about down here at 30, right around the 3670, right in that range, I believe. I've looked at this a million times and I still do this, but yeah, 3565, 3570, right in that range. And I'm not saying it's got to fill, guys, but you need to be aware that it's down there, and there is definitely still a possibility, even as bullish as the market feels. This could be the start of the bull run. I'm not saying it's not, but I'm showing you the reasons that I do believe that we're still going to come down further. We're going to take a look at some key areas. I do want to talk about the hype cycles a little bit. As you know, Litecoin's halving last year, it obviously had its hype cycle. It rose 578%, and obviously Bitcoin went with it. But let's look at Ethereum. Looks to be its hype cycle. Now, Ethereum doesn't have a halving, so they always come up with something. Last time it was ICOs. This time it's a DeFi, which I believe is the same thing. If you can trade the stuff, guys, great. Make money trading it. But to invest in that stuff long term, I think is foolish. That's my opinion. Everybody make up their own mind. You know, watch the bullish guys. Watch my videos. You know, kind of make up your own mind. But anyways, now looking at Ethereum, it went up 418%. If we look at this as kind of an Adam and Eve, and it's kind of a weird looking one, I wouldn't either look at it like that, or look at it as a W. But the measured move, from where we broke out up here, this is the bullish case, guys. Obviously, there's a bearish case that I'm still leaning towards. It'd be around 657 bucks. Would be the measured move. Let's see if this holds here right around the 366. If we break through that and close maybe a 4 hour below that, it's going to get pretty ugly pretty fast. Let's look at Bitcoin. But as you can see, this is the monthly. Now I've drawn this trend line off of the second wick here on the monthly. This wick and this wick here, we are above it. We've been talking about maintaining above this line. As of right now, on the monthly, a monthly close above 11,171 will keep us above this line. But as you guys know, I've been looking at this as you can see, we closed the month higher. Everybody was extremely bullish about that candle. But if you look at it, we were making higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI. That is bearish divergence, guys. Just bear that in mind. Also, let's look at the bullish case. That being this as a rising, or I'm sorry, just a triangle here. The thicker white trend line. Doing a measured move off that, bringing it to where we broke out, could get us to 27,000. That's still a possibility, guys. That's why we do daily updates every single day. So make sure you do subscribe, hit that like button, and leave your comments. Share the video if you would. If we look off these yellow trend lines here, the falling broadening wedge, we had a measured move off of that also. That one gets us up to about the 1600. One thing I wanted to look at again is this weekly RSI. It is possible we come up here and close the weekly on this trend line and have a reversal back down. I am thinking of that as a major possibility. If we close a weekly above this, that will change everything. But remember, on a weekly, we can get up here and still come back down before close. So keep that in mind. But this is going to be a great indicator on the weekly. So definitely keep an eye on that. If we look at the EMAs here, as you guys know, I use the 8, 13, 21, 55, and 200 EMA. We are above them all right now. And if we look at that trend line off of the wicks, it is giving us support on the weekly right now at 11,250 on the weekly. Now, if we zoom in a little bit, go into the daily chart, I do want to point out, still making lower highs in the macro here, guys. I'm showing you the bearish case scenario a little bit more than the bullish. All you have to do if you want bullish case is watch every other channel on YouTube. So if you want to watch bullish ones, go ahead and watch them. If you want to simmer down a little bit, come to my channel. Although there is going to be huge opportunities, life-changing trades, guys, in this market. And it is a good time to take advantage of it. So let's take a look at over here what happened. As you can see, being overbought in the RSI does not necessarily mean it's topped out. As you can see, we had one here, went sideways, popped back up, had another one, went sideways, popped back up. So to go off just the RSI there, it just doesn't work, guys. So keep an eye on it. Now let's look at these trend lines I have in here. If we were to come down and drop using this white trend line as the top, looking at this as a rising broadening wedge, if we drop down below this area, 10,200 range or whatever, we might get support on this trend line here, getting us around 8,500 or so. But first off, let's just look at that measured move. That would get us down to about the 3,500, which would be a good place to do a stop hunt down here and close that gap. Again, not saying it's got to happen. We are getting support on this trend line right now around 11,300 on the daily. Keep an eye on that. One thing I've been pointing out in my videos, guys, is this. This is a textbook bearish engulfing candle right here. The wicks engulf the wick on the side, the bodies engulf, the red body engulfs the green body and the wicks. So that's a huge bearish engulfing candle. So that tells me that we're gonna get down below the 10.5 at some point. I still believe that unless this trend line here holds. If 11.3 breaks, most likely we're headed down here. We could be testing all the way down to the bottom of this trend line, being around the $10,200 range, and even further to the white trend line down here. But let's take a look at one more thing. If you look here, these lows, we're making a lower low in the price action. That could be the RSI resetting. Now, this is looking at the bullish case. Obviously, it depends on where the daily closes, but if we close above there and the RSI is still lower, that's going to be bullish, hidden bullish divergence. In an uptrend usually is a continuance. The top of that bearish engulfing candles at 12,139. We talked about that yesterday. If we break that, chances are we're heading up further, and we'll take a look at those targets. This is the bearish case I'm looking at here. This is just a count, a 5-wave count. So that could end us up around 87, 8,800, and that's not the end, guys. This would be A, then we would have a B, and then a C. And we'll look at that if that happens. Let's zoom in. Well, let's not zoom in yet. I do want to remind you guys, I'll leave a Prime XBT tutorial up top. If you are interested in trading, definitely check them out. If you're interested in margin trading, you can make money whether the market goes up or down. Just be very careful. Don't go crazy high leverage, and don't put in more than you're willing to lose. The reason I love this exchange, I never get the scam wicks like in the other exchanges that trade against you. You can trade Bitcoin, EOS, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, and a ton of Forex. Then you got also gold, oil, silver, Euro, the NASDAQ, S&P, Dow Jones, everything with just using your Bitcoin as collateral. Another cool feature on it is if you have, you don't have multiple screens, they do have a setup where you could put multiple screens on here. So you could put all different time frames or different charts you're watching, whatever you want to keep an eye on. Definitely an awesome feature. And if you're feeling real crazy, they do have a turbo on here where you can make trades. Like the duration on this one's 10 minutes and 15 minutes right now. They used to have 1 minute. I'm not sure what's going on there, but basically check it out. You might enjoy it. Just be really careful. Just be careful if you do decide to try it. Remember, my promo code is Savy50. Will get you 50% on top of whatever you deposit as your bonus. And Savy25 will get you 25% off your fees. This is my wife's webpage, anchorimage.com. There's also a link below. Definitely check it out. A lot of cool crypto stuff on there. She can put anything you want, not just what you see. Just hit her up in the contact. All right, going into the daily. As you can see, still have the yellow dotted trend line, green, yellow, whatever it is. I'm colorblind. For those of you about watching the channel know that. We did get support here at the $11,300 range. A break of that. Obviously, we have support around 10,550. And if that holds, then it could possibly be the bullish case scenario, guys. You know, we could stay up here for a couple weeks and build a big flag. But a break of this 10,550, then I think we're looking at these lower targets. A lot of people were looking at this as a left shoulder, head, right shoulder. I don't like that right shoulder, so I am not convinced of that. But if we do a measured move on that, looking at it as a inverse head and shoulders, we take a measured move where we broke out, gets us up to about the $17,000 range. That's a bullish case. One more spot I want to talk about. If this does hold as support here at the 11.3, we get another bounce up, you know, we could be looking at 12.8 to 13,000. And that being, if I zoom in here a little bit, looking at this as a rising broadening wedge that we broke out of here. This is a long-term trend line. We almost tagged it here, not quite. If we were to go up and tag that, I would expect a resistance, and that would be around 12.8 to 13, somewhere in that range. But first off, we have to hold support here and then the 10.5. If that breaks, I have the Fibonacci retracements here, guys, from the from the swing low to the swing high. The 0.236, which is the first fib, and that's if we don't break the high of that bearish engulfing candle, 12,139 area. And then 10.5 doesn't hold, then we'd be looking at 10,180, which is the 0.236. I would expect at least a little bounce there if that does not hold. 0.382 is at 89.50. 0.5 is at 79.83. Each one of these, if it doesn't hold, it's most likely going down to the next support. And here's our old target, still sitting at 69, which is in the golden pocket zone. Obviously, if we break this high, that all changes. And then we have the 0.786 all the way down to 5,500. And of course, we have our gap down here around 35.70. Keep an eye on that 12,139, guys. If we break above that, if we break this trend line here, that's going to be extremely bullish. But let's look at the RSI. We definitely have room to go down. But like I said, in the RSI, and I'll zoom in a little bit on the daily here, we are making lower lows in the RSI. And this is the daily. So we still have hours left. The price could definitely have a huge drop. So keep that in mind. That 11.3 breaks, guys, we could be coming down pretty far. But as of right now, it is making hidden bullish divergence. So keep that in mind. And another look at the 4 hour. So looking at the 4 hour, we have those targets up here, obviously still. Everything's pretty much the same as in the daily I just showed you, except one thing in the RSI I do want to talk about. We've been talking about this trend line here, and I said a break of that. If we do manage to break this trend line here to come down and retest the bigger rising channel, that's going to be an ugly drop, guys. And that is the 4 hour. But as of right now, we are holding support on the trend line that we've been talking about around 11.3. But as you can see, our EMAs are turning over here. Our 55 EMA is, our 55 EMA on the 4 hour is now resistance. So we are in between the 55 EMAs at 11,550. A break above that, we could get another move up. I still don't believe we're going to break this high over here. A break below the 11,300 range, we'd be looking at 200 EMA around 10,630. So yeah, and then if we break that 10,550, guys, the next trend line of support is all the way down in this area. Depending on how fast we would get there, is around 9,400. So let's take a look at the daily. All right, the daily bullish case and bearish case. Let's take a look. So I had these trend lines here as a rising channel. I kind of want to change them up. This was if we bounced up back up, we would come back to this range. I'm going to put this up now to that, what we were talking about, $12,800 to $3,000 range. And that being, if we took a measured move where we broke here, I had it at 11,276. It would actually be a little bit lower than that. Let's go down around the 11,230 range. But that's if it, took a longer time to drop, which may happen because RSIs need to reset. But if we look at these EMAs on hourly, guys, we had the 8 already cross and the 13 cross the 200 EMA right here. Next would be the 21. If that crosses, that's probably going to create another huge drop. So just keep that in mind. We had this 11,440 range marked yesterday. And if you look, we have broken that now, guys. Something scary we're going to look at there. So if we get rid of this trend line here and we look at this blue line as the top, this dotted line as the bottom, a broadening wedge here, and we do a measured move of that to where we have already broke down. That gets us down to that 11,200. Well, actually, it's around 11,200 on the dot. So I would look for support if we get down to that range. But if we get back above this 11,450, we may get support on this line and turn this all around. But guys, it is looking pretty damn bearish. The 1 hour is, the RSI is pretty far down here, and it does look like, let's zoom in here. Lower, yeah, we're making lower lows in the price action, higher lows in the RSI. That could be signs we're going to push back up. We could push back up to the 200 EMA, which is around 11,600. The 55 EMA would be around 11,700. What I would do if you're watching your charts is I would put a trend line right across these wicks, and a break above this trend line here most likely is going to continue up to the more bullish case scenario, which could be up around that 12.8 to if we retested the top of this trend line, it could be all the way, up in this range. But again, guys, we're going to keep an eye on it. This was a measured move for the breakup of there, so let's get that out of there. We're actually going to put this one up the top of this trend line, obviously, depending on how long it would take to get up there, but we're going to put it around 12.8. And let's take a look at the super bearish case. If we looked at the whole thing, the yellow dotted line, top and bottom, as a broadening wedge to where we broke down, gets us around the 9,400, which also matches up with the long-term trend line down here at the bottom. I would look for a good bounce there. And that kind of matches up with the chart I showed you with the count on it. Back, where was it? Right here. That gets down to about 94.66, back up to 10.4 before dropping back down to 87 to 88. And let's see if that's confluent with what, yes, that chart is saying. It lines up pretty damn well, guys, actually. So, yeah, that is the bearish case. Again, if we break up beyond this, it could turn bullish. But, guys, it's looking pretty bearish right now. Although the RSIs, like I said, is creating a little bit of hidden bullish divergence. Could be meaning we do another push up, possibly as high as that 11.7, 11.8, but a break of that, then I'd say we're going up to the next highs. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Don't forget to smash the likes, leave your comments down below, click CryptoSavy logo above my head, and bear with me while I get back into the channel and try to get everything straightened out here. So I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Definitely don't forget to check out the Discord if you haven't already. Check out the links down below if you need any hard wallets, anything like that. There's a lot of cool stuff down there and you get discounts. So check it out. I'm out. Have a great day, guys.